I read on internet, the new Odoo pricing is cheaper. Really? Is that possible? Is it true? Not really. Hi, I'm Gaspar, CEO of Portcities, and I will speak about the new Odoo pricing. Odoo introduced a new pricing during the last Odoo event. Since then, I've read a lot of fake information. I've also seen a lot of confusion on social media, but also in my own team. So today, I would like first to clarify what is exactly the new pricing. What are the main three changes? After that, I will discuss quickly the impact and some tips that I have. So here are the real three changes in the new pricing model. First, with the new pricing model, we only pay the user. So there is one price per user. While in the old pricing model, we had one price per user plus one price per app. If you had 5 users and 3 apps, you would pay a price for the user and for the 3 apps. Today, you pay only a price for the 3 users. Of course, the price per user will change. I will explain that in the next item. The second main change is Odoo introduced a new price plan. Before, Odoo has 2 price plans. The first option was to use only one app. You could have unlimited user for free. And the second option was to use multiple apps with any number of users, and you would pay a price per user and per app. With the new pricing model, now you have 3 price plans. Still one app with unlimited user. Then the second price plan, which is called the standard Odoo. So you could use the standard Odoo, you pay per user, and you can use all applications. And then the third plan, you could use a customized version of Odoo. You pay also per user, more expensive than the standard one, and you can also use any application. What is a customized version of Odoo compared to a standard version of Odoo? The standard version of Odoo is you need to use Odoo Standard using Odoo Online, so the SaaS version of Odoo. If you want to customize Odoo with Odoo Studio or to implement your own module or the community app, or you just want to install Odoo on your own server or on your private cloud, then you need to use the customized plan of Odoo. What is the third change? The third change is that before, Odoo give discount for the initial user, the user that you buy initially. And this discount would apply for the entire subscription period. So if you keep the subscription for 5 years, you would still keep the initial discount for the user that you bought initially. With the new pricing offer, you get the discount only the first year. So the 20 to 25% discount will be applied only for the first year. And then the second year, you will pay the full price for all the users. That has actually a big change in terms of price. So what is the real impact of this new pricing? Is it cheaper, more expensive? Actually, it depends. In general, this is more expensive. But let me explain. If you use the standard Odoo, not customized, now you will pay only a price per user and you will not pay a price for the application. So most likely, the total cost that you're going to pay is going to be much less than before. Of course, it depends on what is the price per user compared to before. The price per user, even the standard price, is actually, in general, more expensive, except the first year. But if you count in general, it will be more expensive. But because you don't pay the app anymore, if you don't have too many users, it will be cheaper. Because most of the people that would use the Odoo standard are, in my guess, small company with a limited number of users. The new pricing will be cheaper for them. That being said, even many small companies use a customized version of Odoo. Even if they use the SaaS, they customize Odoo with Odoo Studio. So what is the impact for people that use a customized version of Odoo? I think most of the people actually use a customized version of Odoo because they install Odoo on their own server, or because they customize Odoo using customized apps on Odoo SH, or because they customize Odoo with Odoo Studio on the SaaS platform. For the customized version of Odoo, after the first year, the user will be, on average, 60 to 80% more expensive. If you have more than 10 users, it's going to be more expensive, even if you don't pay for the app anymore. Now I have several tips for you. The first tip is about the multi-year plan. Before the multi-year plan, so if you buy Odoo license multiple years in advance, gave you a very small discount. But nowadays, you actually get the initial 20 to 25% discount only the first year. But if the first year you take 2, 3, 4, 5 year subscription, you actually get this discount for the entire period that you take. Of course, you need to pay all those years upfront. My second tip is to use Odoo Community. Is it better? In many cases, not. But in some cases, it is. You always still have this option to use Odoo Community for your business or for a business unit. For example, if you have a business unit with a lot of users that will use only one or two apps and doesn't need really to be integrated with the rest of the business, you could decide to use Odoo Community for this business unit and to use Odoo Enterprise for your main business operation where you need all the enterprise application. Some business also want to implement Odoo but don't need the feature of Odoo Enterprise, so they can use Odoo Community for free. This is still possible. That being said, most of our customers actually use Odoo Enterprise because this is more complete and it offers a lot of benefit for still a reasonable price. My third advice is actually to get all the benefit from an ERP. An ERP can give a lot of benefit to your business, and even with the new price, it's still very affordable compared to the benefit that it can bring to your business. So the ROI is still going to be very high if you implement your ERP properly. My last advice is not to focus too much on the license, because a big part of the cost in using and implementing an ERP is actually in the implementation cost. And so if you manage properly your ERP implementation, if you plan properly, if you manage your scope properly, you focus on the business benefit, you don't over customize your version, you manage properly change management, you manage properly your project management, then you can drastically reduce the implementation cost. And so you can have a much bigger impact on the total cost of ownership of your ERP system. Finally, to guide you in your ERP journey and to make the best decision to reduce the cost and to increase the benefit, I will still give the three usual advice. Hire or assign a very good in-house project manager, someone that will work for your company and be in charge, have the responsibility to make your ERP project successful. Second, make sure that your leadership team is supporting your ERP project. And finally, hire a good Odoo partner that has the right experience and the right skills to implement your project.